The top of the Empire State Building.
Z100. New York.
It's New York's #1 hit music station, Z100 and iHeartRadio. I'm Josh Martinez with my guest, all things All Elite Wrestling, Tony Khan. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you, Josh? Thanks for having me on, man.
No. We're excited. This Wednesday night, Dynamite, the first AEW event ever on Long Island. For the people that say in Long Island, it is grammatically incorrect. It's on Long Island. My English major fiance would kill me if I made the mistake of saying in Long Island. Brand new UBS Arena. How excited are you to come back into the New York market?
I'm very excited about AEW on Long Island, and I'm very excited about being back in New York. It's great having such great support from New York fans on television. We do great ratings here every week for AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage, and it's a very important market for us. And also now it's great to be here live. We had such great fan support recently for AEW Grand Slam. It's the biggest attendance we've ever done in the history of AEW, and it's so awesome to be back and now coming to Long Island and being at UBS Arena for the first time. It's going to be awesome. And we have this great crowd coming tomorrow night, AEW Dynamite. I expect a great show. It's one of the biggest cards we've had in a long time. And it's the last show ahead of the huge Winter is Coming, which is like a pay-per-view in terms of the AEW landscape.
So you mentioned Grand Slam. Do we have plans to go back to Arthur Ashe Stadium? Because, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? What are the plans, if any?
Absolutely. I am 100% planning to go to Arthur Ashe Stadium again, and I would very much like, to get back there soon. I expect we're going to do Grand Slam again next year at the same time, and we had such a great experience. So hopefully it'll work out. No, I can't promise it yet, but we've had talks and aiming to have another AEW Grand Slam next year and have another great Dynamite and another great Rampage.
Now, one thing that I thought was interesting when you had Grand Slam, it was very close timeline-wise to All Out. It ended up working out well because clearly you guys know what you're doing. I don't. I'm just a fan. It's like, it's within 3 weeks. This is weird. What's the scheduling like with Winter is Coming next week, I believe, and then Battle of the Belts 2.5, 3 weeks later? What's the mindset behind the timing?
So much. I mean, and that there's a lot between those shows. I try to give great wrestling matches. And what I'm going to try and do more and more is as the roster expands and gets bigger and bigger, put stars and stars out there and have big matches every Wednesday. And, one thing people can count on every Wednesday and Friday is there's going to be great matches. And this week, tomorrow night, this week, we're a week away from Winter is Coming. And like you said, Battle of the Belts is coming up at the beginning of January. But in between those shows, there's so much. The Holiday Bash taking place in Greensboro. And we also have our return to Jacksonville, which will be the final Dynamite ever on TNT, which is really important. And I can't think of a better place to have it than Daly's Place in Jacksonville. And then furthermore, we have our debut show on TBS, which is in so many ways the biggest thing we have out there, January 5th. And to be able to have our first show on TBS and follow it up with the Battle of the Belts that same week on that, it's going to be a massive week with 3 shows in 4 days.
Now, you mentioned the first show of the year on TBS. That's going to be at the Prudential Center, another New York City market in the area. So we're very, very excited about that, to see that. Now, I had a conversation yesterday with MJF, who all but guaranteed me that he would be cheered tomorrow night at UBS Arena, and CM Punk will be booed. What's your opinion on that take?
Well, I think there's a very good chance MJF will be the fan favorite. When we were kids, we saw the Hearts get cheered in Canada when they would get booed in America, and it would be kind of different. And I think this will be maybe a different reaction than we're used to seeing for MJF anywhere else in the world.
Now, in a recent interview that you and I had, you kind of made the comment that you had the mindset of the first 4 AEW champions kind of in mind, if you will. Do you know what who the next couple champions are going to be tentatively? You don't have to say anything, but are you already booking that far in advance this time around?
Well, a lot of things have changed in the world of wrestling, so I think I'll leave that up to speculation. But there's a lot of exciting things. The one thing I'm the most excited about right now is Hangman Page is the great world champion, and we have this huge match coming up at Winter is Coming. Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson, and that match is first and foremost in the world of wrestling right now. For people who haven't watched AEW or haven't been watching AEW, I think something to let people know, there's some really exciting things that have been happening. And even if you had checked the show out a year ago, months ago, things have changed a lot just in recent months. There's a lot of new stars that have debuted in AEW, and some very exciting things are happening. I'm really excited about what's happening at Winter is Coming, to have Hangman Page defending the AEW World Championship for the first time against maybe the best wrestler ever, Bryan Danielson, and to have probably the best wrestler of all time in AEW, and have him not just in his prime, but out there wrestling every single week and actively wanting to wrestle every single week for the fans. It's awesome. He's wrestled on Dynamite. He's wrestled on Rampage. He's wrestled on pay-per-view. And next Wednesday at Winter is Coming, he's going to challenge for the world championship. But tomorrow night, he's challenging one of the most exciting wrestlers in AEW. He didn't have to do this. He doesn't have to wrestle. I'm not forcing him to wrestle a week ahead of Winter is Coming. I think it's going to be one of the greatest, most exciting world title matches we've ever seen on television. Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page next week on TNT on Winter is Coming. And Bryan Danielson wanted to get out there and wrestle 7 days before this big match. And he's been trying to kick the heads in of all the Dark Order members. And it just so happens, probably the most popular person in the Dark Order is from Long Island. And so we're going to be on Long Island tomorrow. And I thought it would be very fitting to book this match. Bryan Danielson versus John Silver. It's going to be great for the fans. Bryan Danielson hasn't won himself any popularity contests lately, and probably won't win any tomorrow night in Long Island. And it's been really fun to watch. I think the television has been really compelling with Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page, along with some of the other issues, we're talking about here.
So we're talking about Winter is Coming next Wednesday. Hangman Page against Bryan Danielson for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. Those are top stars. Has there been any people that you have your eye on that you're like, in 12 or 18 months, that's going to be the breakout star? If so, can you talk about a couple of those people that will be breakout stars?
Well, I think there are a number of huge breakout stars in both the men's and women's divisions who are really poised. We happen to be heading with Dynamite still on TNT for the rest of the year up through New Year's. And then next year, Dynamite's moving to TBS. And we have the TBS Championship Tournament, establishing a great champion in the women's division to lead us into 2022. And there are some really exciting stars in that tournament. Ruby Soho is coming to AEW, is a great free agent. I'm very excited about her semifinal match coming up with Nyla Rose, and I'm also very excited about the other semifinal, Jade Cargill against Thunder Rosa. And so we have these two really exciting matches and 4 women left in the competition, all of them poised to break out. Adam Cole has come into AEW on fire. I'm so happy he's here, and having him on our television every week has really added something for the fans. When people come to the arena, the fans, there are some things people love to see every week. And one thing the fans always love is the boom and the Adam Cole Bebe, which is probably as over as anything in wrestling. And he is so compelling. So I'd love to list him in there as well. And his girlfriend, Dr. Britt Baker, the world champion, has probably been the breakout star of the last few years. So it's very fitting that Adam Cole now comes here and finds himself in a position where he too could break out in a similar way and potentially become a champion down the line himself, like Dr. Britt Baker, the world champion.
So yesterday, talking to MJF, I asked him if he would add anyone to the Pinnacle, and he said he doesn't want to add anyone. If he did, the only one person he would add to the mix is Britt Baker. Now, when you hear something like that, what comes to your mind knowing that you could potentially have future world heavyweight champion and then top female star all in one stable?
Well, it's an interesting thought. Adam Cole said if Max keeps talking about Britt, he's gonna end up on the receiving end of a punch. That would be some heel on heel action. But there's a lot of exciting things happening, and the Pinnacle have some of the top stars in wrestling already, and also have one of the top tag teams in wrestling with FTR, and one of the great technical wrestlers with Shawn Spears, and somebody else who's poised to break out, Wardlow, who is a potential breakout star, I think, himself, if he ever finds himself out of MJF's shadow, especially.
Wardlow's part of the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow night, Wardlow will be in the Dynamite. Thank you for bringing that up, because there is some really exciting stuff happening also in AEW. We've seen CM Punk and MJF get into it a lot lately. Well, around this time of the year, MJF always defends this Dynamite Diamond Ring, and it's that time. And frankly, the competition is more fierce than it's ever been, and the potential is greater than it's ever been, that we could see somebody new holding that diamond ring. And I think he's somebody else who has really been a breakout star of these last few years since he won that battle royal. And it'd be really interesting to see what happens. There'll be 2 people left standing tomorrow night at the end of the battle royal. Wardlow and MJF are both part of the competition, so that's something to keep an eye on. We also know Team Taz will be in there, and a lot of other exciting competitors, Leo Rush, and exciting to see what's been happening with Leo Rush and Dante Martin and Team Taz. But a lot to keep an eye on. 2 people will be left standing tomorrow night on Dynamite, and they will then meet one-on-one at Winter is Coming next week, in addition to all the huge wrestling we have on tap next week at Winter is Coming, and really every Wednesday on Dynamite, including tomorrow night.
So before I let you go, just if MJF pulls off the three-peat, I told him what he needs to do is get a 3-finger ring, hip-hop style, with MJF, and then you guys could sell it. That's merch. All I ask is for 10% of the profit. I appreciate you one more time, Tony Khan. Thank you so much. AEW Dynamite, AEW Rampage this Wednesday night, UBS Arena, this Friday night, also at UBS Arena. Any final things you'd like to say before we go?
Yeah, thank you, Josh. I would love to wish happy birthday to my good friend, John Moxley. And I wish him the best. And hopefully we'll all see him soon. But the most important thing is John's really taken some time and gotten better. And that's what's awesome. And I love him so much.
We love to hear that bit of an update that he's gotten better. That's what we want to hear. That's the high note we go out on. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you, Josh.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
The 100.